Welcome! It is time for the third section where we go into the abyss, where we are supposed to find extremely difficult puzzles. But usually, the easy ones are the ones you will actually get caught on. We'll see how it goes. I do think I'm going to struggle a lot, hopefully.
You've been making a lot of progress. New citizens, new cities, even space travel. You really don't do things by halves, do you, Byron?
You're right. But I'm very aware that we have to be careful. Things are moving so fast. And the truth is that Neuma is just a tool. It doesn't magically solve all our problems. We have to learn to apply it correctly.
What? You're not just sticking your hand in it and seeing if it goes bzzzt?
Hey, I haven't done that in months.
It's almost like you've learned something.
I have. I mean, I know you're joking, but that's why I need you. None of this is easy. In fact, it might be the hardest thing anyone's ever done. We're changing everything about how we interact with this world. There's a lot of baggage we have to get rid of. And truth be told, some of it's my own.
I appreciate that, Byron. But there's something I'd like to know.
I'm an open book.
We never really had a chance to talk after you came back from the megastructure. But now that I look back, I feel that somehow the experience changed you. So, what happened to you inside the machine? What really happened?
Well, you know the beginning of it. We've made it into the megastructure for the second time. You were waiting back at the VTOL. I was desperate to find Athena. I got to the terminal before 1K, started going through the files. And just when I thought I'd found something... I can't...
Oh, we're playing as Byron.
What the... Where am I?
Byron. Byron, can you hear me?
Oh, this can't be good. Have I been damaged? Am I in sleep mode?
You are. But this is not your dream, Byron. It is Athena's. Your mind is trapped in the gyre of her thoughts, circling eternally between an impossible hope and an unbearable grief.
My friends need me. I have to get out of here.
Your friends are your only hope. You cannot free yourself. But if you can overcome these trials, perhaps I can help your friends find you.
Alright. Love that we're playing Byron. He was my favorite character in the main game, so it's really nice to see that we get to be him. So they're not... I mean, there's a lot of puzzles. And I have to unlock worlds, I presume, to get to these. No, I can just slide on it. This is number 12. Question is, do I want maybe to go in sequential order? I'm gonna go with a sequential order because I don't know the gimmick, if there is a gimmick. Right, we need blue and red, we have an inverter, which means we need something else as well. Gotcha, what do we have here? Nothing I can access it directly, but I can do this. So start. I now have a connector, so I need to use the connector. I think probably... no. I think what I'm going to want to do is... I mean... Yeah, the difficulty here is going to be able to access the blue beam, because although I am here now, the blue beam is going to cut that out, which is bad for me. So very simple premise, and this is what I like. I like when puzzles are very simple, but it makes them all the more difficult because of how simple they are. You don't have a lot of options, you don't have a lot of assumptions. It's a very basic puzzle in all the best ways. Now what makes it difficult is the inverter being there. I think it would help if the inverter got its source from the connector instead of that source. That would probably be pretty good. Now I'm going to get... That one doesn't really need to be open, does it? I mean, it only needs to be open for that to matter. So I think what I need to do is I need to find an angle, if one does even exist, where I can power the blue beam, the inverter with the blue beam, through one of these wormholes, but also through here at the same time, and I don't think that is possible. Now, I don't technically need everything to be out here. I can have something on this side. That is also something to keep in mind. So what could I potentially want to do next? I think what I want to do... it's a difficult one. I think I have an idea, at least. My idea consists of starting out like this. Then from here... Oh no, there is... I can't... I have to access like that. So this is nice and all. But I need the inverter to be on this side, but I also needed to open that, potentially. Let's change my assumptions. So far my assumptions have pretty much all been... Is there a way for me to get inverted to this side? I don't think there is, because the only way to open that gate is with the inverter. Like, I can't fetch the inverter right now. I need... It is locked to this side. That, I think, is a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. And that tells me some pretty good things. Because that means then that the difficulty of Boom and Boom is really the only difficult part I have to deal with. Because that goes across, completely covers the blue. That means that assumption that both of them need to be lit up is most likely wrong. Unless I have a way to, or unless I'm going to be cutting off one of the beams. So that makes me think instead that what I gotta do is whatever final thing I do is going to rely on turning that off. I got an idea. No. My idea was... I could be... Yeah, no, that was one of... That is one of the issues if I were to do that. But if I were to do this, I got an idea. I'm just gonna try it out. If I get the connector here, and like to there, let's just start with that. Then it is no longer reliant on the blue beam, so I can position it wherever I want. Then I can make it self-sufficient. So now it's self-sufficient. Gonna do that as well. Boom, it is now self-sufficient. Now the question is, can I reach to... Oh, I can't reach it. This could potentially have been an angle. But the thing is, if I were to do this, I would not be able to power the other thing. But now... I have my beam free. Can I cancel this one? That is my big concern. Is there a way for me to cancel? And given the setup I have, I'm not utilizing quantum tunneling as it is right now. Like, this feels fairly non-negotiable. And if I do... The problem is... that beam, I gotta be able to cut that beam from the other side. Right? Because I could do that. I'm soft locked now, but like I could do that. But now I need to cancel that beam. Ooh, I got an idea. It's just a shame that I'm soft locked. Because what I could do to cut that beam is that. I will cut the beam. I think that is potentially the solution. So let's reset the puzzle. That's good. A 12-minute brain cracker. Not sure if I need to do all the steps I did last time, but I'm going to be doing them anyhow. Nice. Because now what I can do is all of that, and I can use my body to block these two and run through. No clue if it is intended to do that, but I mean, it worked.
Done. How many more?
7 trials lie ahead of you. When they are
Complete.
there will be a moment of transition. In that moment, I will tip the scale. Your shell will be moved,
And its location.
revealed to your friends.
What's wrong with your voice, Elohim? Are the entities interfering with your protocols?
I cannot
Not
articulate. She cannot face it.
I have an idea.
Oh.
Could you tell me what happened in the old way, using your storyteller functions?
I will try, Byron.
Oh. This feels like it's close to what I need. Given how it's every other, I mean, it could potentially matter. Is it maybe a question of signal strength? That with the connector I can give a signal, but then I'll be able to No, but I won't be able to use the connector to override the signal. This surely is a reason why it is in the middle, not anywhere else. Because even if I were to make that the red source, I would still have the issue with the middle two beams crossing each other. That would still be an issue. Maybe what the puzzle really is about, because we have two sets and they're identical next to each other. Don't know why I had a voice crack. But maybe the thing is to do something like that. Because now I have blue. Oh yeah, I need to connect them to these two. Because this doesn't solve them all. However, what I can do is I can do this. Yeah, that's why I had to do it in the middle. That one was way faster.
The prophet Athena was sent unto New Jerusalem to guide its people into a new age. And she said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. But in time the people of New Jerusalem grew fearful, and their faith grew weak. They shrugged off their burdens and embraced sloth. Let the earth replenish itself, they said, and let no one have dominion. Out of the words of the prophet they made an idol called the Founder, and set it above themselves, and it had dominion over all.
Look at what you've done. You were supposed to protect us, to lead us, but you're reckless and arrogant.
I did. I tried to. But nobody would listen. They only heard what they wanted to hear.
Look at this machine that you built. Do you really think this is a tool? It's a weapon. It killed your daughter. And now you're going to give it to your children? And what do you think is going to happen next?
I don't know. I can't tell.
So Miranda is dead. And Athena's grief is echoing through the entire system.
Alcatraz was very harsh.
When I said you didn't kill Miranda, I was lying. I just said it because that's what you're supposed to say. You did kill her. I tried to temper her arrogance, to give her perspective, but you always encouraged her megalomania. You made her think she was special. She was chosen because you still think you're the chosen one.
No, that's not what I think at all. I don't want to be treated like I'm special.
Then why did we leave? Because you were tired of having to argue.
Because they poured all their...
That's a shame. I did not intend to fall off and cut the conversation. Can I... Okay, we can see the entire conversation, that's nice. I hope we get some better ones, because we know with the three entities that they were... Like... There were three entities, and we know pretty much that they represent different parts of Athena, and this one's... I mean, so far, all the messages have pretty much been the negative part of Athena. Anyway, I think this one needs to be like that, and... This one I would ideally like to cut the second signal off from. It's impossible for one to shine both, otherwise I would maybe be able to do an oscillation with that. But the problem is, how do I make it so when it's down I can easily make one of these colors work, but the other one doesn't work then. So how do I make it when the fence is up that it works? What does... This is where I potentially think signal strength might actually play a role. Because what I could do, this is a stronger signal strength. Because I could make it so it... No, if I were to make it so it gets the blue from the other... Because if I were to do that, it will now be blue, now it will be red. Then it will go down back to blue. The problem with this approach is... because of the reversed colors. I mean, really what this means is... Yeah, because of the reverse colors, it becomes a bit difficult. Like, if I were to move everything here, to this side of the oscillating fence, I would have red permanently until it goes up, then potentially blue could be powering. But it does really strike, or it does really become quite difficult when it's... because, like, putting it here doesn't work. Because now it's just permanently locked like that. Like, boom. And now it's to... Oh, wait, I just do that, right? Yeah. It had to do with signal strength. I really like that they have...
Saddened by the foolishness of her people, Athena went into
Exile with her husband.
the sage Cornelius. Together they crossed the wide and angry sea until at last they came unto the Isle of Atlas. Here they made their home.
And here,
They brought forth Miranda.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say, I really like the fact that I've been using the mechanic of a connector's beam going basically, or the output of the connector being none when it gets several colors applied to it. And here we have another twist in turn. Alternation, okay. I mean, yeah, that seems fair. That it's called that. So it feels like I gotta do something similar to the last puzzle, but this time I gotta set up a clock. So I have a feed, positive right now, then becomes blue, then becomes red, then becomes blue, and it does become red because the blue shuts out the red. So like here, but what's the purpose of this? I'm gonna do that. Then what I'm gonna do is that. Because that should mean red turns... Alright. It's very close. Is there an angle where I get all... Yeah. It is very close. How do I cut off the red? If I knew how to cut off the red here, I think that would actually be the entire solution. I think what I could do, actually, is I get my source from that. Because this should be red. Oh, it is... It's very wonky how it works. Blue never gets to take precedence. Yeah, that clock is too fast. Okay, let's go back to here. So now, if I would have instead gotten my red from there... I mean, why doesn't this work? Right, because it never cuts off the red, that's why it didn't work, my bad. But how do I make it cut off the red? it just immediately becomes that. It just feels like the alternation, or like the number 3 here. But the goal really is to have the red be secondary strength, and or similar, where the red is secondary strength, and the blue is the primary strength, but the blue is also capable because of its primary strength to cut off the red. Which is what I tried to do when I did this. Then it just becomes the issue with as soon as this gets... I don't want this to cut out. I want this to permanently be red. What I want is this one to alternate its source. Wait, I don't want this to be permanently red, probably. Let's start like that. Yeah. So I had the right idea all the time, I was just focused on the wrong one, getting the power.
In the fastness of Olympus, Athena pursued her sacred work. And it came to pass that there was revealed unto her the true nature of the Word, which underlies all creation, and knowledge of which grants dominion over all earthly things.
So that's what they meant by the language of creation. A theory of everything. Full control over physics.
But her daughter Miranda was brash and did not heed Athena's warnings. Before Athena had completed her great work, Miranda was consumed by fire, and so was lost beyond the utmost bound of human thought.
So here I will have double oscillation. It seems like every minor island is going to have the same gimmick, which is nice because that means there's a lot of gimmicks, because so far 3, 4, and 5 all seem to be the same gimmick. 1 and 2 were... I don't think they were the same gimmick, but I mean basically it's gonna mean that we have a bunch of... This is one gimmick, 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 one gimmick, one gimmick, one gimmick, one gimmick, one gimmick. Potentially that the isolated ones are challenge islands. Like challenges. But okay. So we have 2 slowly oscillating fences. Let's start off simply. I want that. And now the problem immediately comes with accessing the green. This reminds me of the issue with the 3 houses and you needing to give them 3 sets of utensils. Or utensils, utilities like power, water and heat. And essentially, in a 2-dimensional plane, it is impossible. But here we have oscillation, and because we don't need all of them to work at the same time, so it's not the same scenario, but it does remind me of it. So the question is the oscillation going to... What is exactly do I want the oscillation to do? Like, potentially what I could do is have the oscillation basically switch the source, or one of them. Like, I could potentially probably have, like... that. The problem now is because this one has a primary source that is going to be not really something I want. If I wanted to have a primary source, it would be like red that is to the side. And then I want the oscillation would be able to cancel this out, so now it could potentially have blue as its primary source. Is that it? I think this is it. Yeah.
Stricken with grief, the prophet lost faith in the word. Caught between a dying past and a future struggling to be born, she retreated into the lands of dream. But even here, her nightmares pursued her. From her mind came forth phantoms, shadows cast by the flame. And her dreams of trials and towers fled from the darkness into the waking world.
And that's what we found on the island. Not a test, but pain and fear and hope spilling out of her dreams.
I'm going to guess this is Miranda.
Even if you hadn't killed me, it would all have gone wrong anyway. Do you think they would have accepted me in New Jerusalem? Me, with all my precious, self-important speeches about the beauty of the cosmos and our duty to spread life. My ridiculous, wide-eyed innocence, my childish affectations. They would have laughed at me.
No, they're not like that. They mean well. Even the worst of them are just scared.
They're selfish and greedy and stupid. You know that, Mother. Compared to you, they're all so very stupid. You hate them. You despise them. They're beneath you.
That's not true. That's not how I think. Please, Miranda, I don't know. I don't know where I am.
Oh, Athena. Haunted by all the ghosts. So I can fly. Will I fly there, is the question. Let's try it out. That was definitely not something Miranda would say, because she was dead at that point. Okay. I'm guessing this. Not sure what that or this is about. How would I even get that? Oh, I would need something else in there. Because I could just... Actually, I could just take the fan, because I don't need the fan anymore, I don't think. I could just take the fan, do all of that. So now, my entire quest is all about getting the connector out of there. That is the only challenge left. So There's no wall for me to get it back there, so that is probably why I have all these walls, because I need to get it through all of them. But how do I get it through? That's how I get it through to here. But once here, I need to be able to smuggle it there. Which I can do by putting it here. Which is probably the right way to do it, because if I were to do that, I would not need to have the fan and another object here, because then I could carry the connector and I could run all the way there, potentially. But I would not... I can't power this, or like make a wormhole through this, if that one is to be there. Maybe it doesn't need to be there. Like this can be the powering thing. Well, not powering thing, but the pressure of that. Because that means I only now need the fan. So I can yoink it. Gonna do this. Yeah, I do need to get it through. But how do I get back there? I don't think there is a way really actually for me to get back there. So this was not the correct solution. Although it feels like... I mean, I haven't used this at that point, nor have I used that. But I'm trying to think, what item would I want to get through there? I mean, it is probably the connector. But what would it help not needing to have the fan? I can't take this through its own wormhole. Which means that if it's gonna open that and this, it is going to be locked to that room. Unless I can fly over. Because you can't take it through its own wormhole. It almost looks like there is a pixel perfect location. Right, even if I were to, I would not have anything that is on the pressure plate. I think I'm gonna reset this. I can't do anything with my current set of tools. So this feels like it's pretty much undisputable as a start, because that would explain pretty much everything. So let me first get the cube to play with. And now I have the ability to fly into the room. Like that. But I still can't access the connector. But I could get all of the these two items through there. if I want to. There is an issue I'm not fixing that I gotta fix first. That issue is simply this. Once I get the connector through this quantum, or through this wall with the quantum tunnel, I can no longer freely access all of the rooms. So once I am here, I can't see a way without flying get to the other side. And once I am on the other side, I still can't access all of this. So I can't go back, which is what happened last time. So how do I get all of this back? Do I need all of it back? Yes, because if I fly over with the connector... No, I need you here to get the connector. Then I need you to be on the other side. So you can open this. Actually, you could open this through here. And put the connector through. That's not gonna do anything because I can't get out of the room. But if I were to have you here, which I can kinda easily do, I would need to have the fan. And I could put you as... That's not what I wanted. But I could put you on here, opening that tunnel. But I don't see how that would help. Because in that hypothetical scenario, the cube's there. I'm standing here with the connector in my hand. I'm flying over here. Yeah, and the cube's here, so that is fine. But then what I want to do is switch place. I want the cube and the tunneler to switch place. Or places, rather. Because at that place I would have the connector with me right now. I would have the cube there. I would have the tunneler there and the fan there. I can't get through here because the connector is no longer powering everything, so it feels like I can't do anything. This doesn't do anything at that point. But is there an ingredient in the puzzle I am missing? Like, is there a part? Doesn't seem to be anything else. This is an interesting one. This is quite the difficult one. I was a bit scared with how quickly I did 3, 4, 5, but this is nice. Nothing more in there. And I can't see a way to get the connector out. But yeah, the real issue is just how do I get everything out and myself? Like, I could get all of these items pretty much through this wormhole. But how would I get myself through it? I can't get myself through it. How would I be able to escape? There's no jammer. Oh, no ladders. I want to try more things, but I don't know what's wrong. I guess one thing I could technically do is I could still power that wall with the connector here, but I won't be able to connect that wall. or like power that and disable that grid. So what good would that do me? If I were to get you here, power you, get connector through, but you would just immediately close. Yeah. So I can't just have the tunneler here, get connector through, take the tunneler and run to the other side. That is not gonna work. I can't use that wall on this side of this. Let me just start. I don't at all see a way that doesn't do anything similar to this. That was not my intention. All of the walls are too high for me to jump over with a cube, so that's not how I'm going to traverse. If I were to now tunnel this, I could get the fan and the connector through, but I would not be able to. I got an idea. Can I grab the cube through here? Yeah, I can take the cube through there. Because my idea is actually... Because what I can do now is to grab the connector, and I can have my beam. It feels like that's one step closer. But I haven't used this then. Actually, probably the way I would use it is I would put the connector through using that. So with that method, I would be on the other side, I would have the tunneler, and I would have connector. However, I would not be able to get out of the room without sacrificing one of them. But I feel like this is the start I need to take. Boom, connector on the other side. And I do for sure need this with me. And I need to get over with the fan, so I don't have a choice but this. So now I have stuff. Oh, that is how I do it, because now I just do the same trick as I did with the cube. I take the connector. That's it. Okay. So the key detail I was missing is just this wall being able to get whatever is in there out of there.
Byron? Byron, can you hear me?
Melville, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Byron? Byron? I don't think I'm getting through. If you can hear this, Byron, hold on. We're working on getting you out of there.
So far, I got a connector. Oh, hello, me. Just gonna do that initially. See, do I have anything here? I do not. But I could maybe do that. Which I can... means I can use myself as a... So now I can fly over. Is there anything in particular I want to do with the flying? I forgot, where's the end goal? Oh, I didn't forget, I just didn't see it until now. So I need to get that fan up here. That's peculiar. How do I get up there? With the fan. And I need the fan to get up there. That feels very paradoxical. How do I get A past a requirement of having A? My best guess is that what I can do... Let me try. I need my other self. But what I can do is do that. And I can get Byron's booty out of the way. And that means I can now potentially get the fan up there. Let's try. Iron 2, Electric Boogaloo. Can you take the fan? You can take the fan. So now I need Byron 2 Electric Boogaloo to get this connector out of here alone without me going down because I can't get back up. Is the problem potentially that I actually don't need that one there immediately? No, but I kind of feel like I do. Even though I could put something else there as a weight. Could bring the fan back down, put the fan on that plate, because that will let me get the connector free. But then the fan would not be free. The question is, how do I get everything out of that room. I can't because of that pressure plate. I need it. Really, I only really need something in here to power the fan, but now when the fan is gone, that is kind of useless. So if I were to do that, boom, I no longer have something with a weight there. I'm thinking though that potentially I did this in the wrong order. Instead of getting the fan up first, I need to get the connector up first, because then I can just hand off the fan and I can potentially get rid of that. Let's bring the fan back down. How do I get you out of there? I think I know how to get you out of there. Surely it is basically what I showed. No, it's not as easy as that. That is probably what the second thing is for. I need one of them to power this, and the other one I can bring up with me. So... you become stuck there, so you're not gonna be able to help me with the fan. I really need... I don't have anything I could just ditch here, but I do need something to ditch there. Okay. So, in the previous chamber, I was simply... there was a puzzle piece I knew existed, but didn't know how to use. Now I know how to use all puzzle pieces, or I have a use for all puzzle pieces, but I don't know how to assemble them correctly. Is that actually possible? I mean, it's cheese, but I love cheesing stuff. I just did it, why? Why am I failing it out now? I did it first try. There you go. Like, can I cheat? Not when I miss clicking the jump. Okay, yeah, I can cheese it up. Because I don't feel like that's possible, because that's parkour, and that's not what this puzzle game has been about before. From down here... yeah, I would have to be pretty far back in order to reach that. Yeah, I don't think it's intentional to use that ramp to do the parkour. So I really can't seem to find a way to actually get something out of there without... get everything out of here. Which means something needs to be sacrificed here. I need one of the connectors up there. I need the fan up there. Which means the other connector is fine if it's not... doesn't have to be there. Really, it doesn't have to. Like, that could be an end thing that you have, like... that's the last send-off, essentially. The problem is, for this... this to be down, I need something here. And what could I potentially have here? I mean, now with the parkour, I can cheese it super easily. Like, I would just be able to grab this, grab the fan, and parkour with them up there, both of them. But that is not the solution. There is a proper solution to I would hope. So far the clone hasn't done much, and I think that is because it's a part of the solution to have the clone give you the fan. Which requires me to have, once again, have the connector up there. Or for me to get the connector. And the actual issue is just, I can't power this using the power source. Actually, get out of there, Byron. It did look like I could. Please don't tell me it's actually this simple. Why did I put myself or my clone at such a bad spot? Because now I'm thinking just... We're just gonna do that. Can I grab it from there? I can. Oh. Because I was thinking, oh, I could just then power it up with that. But that's right, from up here I can't access the red beam. So I need the red beam to be somewhere else. Actually, no, I don't need the red beam to be somewhere else. I just need to get it to work. But I can't get it to work up here. I need it to be further down. And that's not even close. Can I get up there using my clone? Like, I have my clone there. Can you give me a piggyback up? No, you can't. I could just parkour up there now. This feels bad. I mean, okay, it doesn't actually feel bad, but it's unsatisfying that haven't figured out the correct solution. I just solved it through cheese.
Well done. Only one more trial remains.
It's gonna bother me. I don't have any claims, do I? Yeah, can't retroactively do it. That's a shame. Alright, puzzle 8. You are further down. And here we have 3. The other 2 on the previous island didn't actually share gimmick, it feels like. So maybe that's not the case everywhere. Right? Oh. I need to solve this using only one. That's easy. Oh no, it's not easy. Yeah. Okay, this is actually not easy. I have 4 objects, I can only use 2, and one of them is needed to get the green beam. And the green beam is not the one I need. How is an inverter going to change any of that? It's peculiar. Potentially what I could do is just try to remove one of them from the equation. Like if I were to get the green to the other side, that would be helpful. And I can't take it because of the anti-cheese they implemented. Because that breaks this free. So I guess the question becomes, is it possible for me now to kind of move things? I can't move that. But it feels like this is kind of actually what I need to do. I need to get all of you in here, and then slowly replace you. But as it is right now, I can't replace, for example, the green here. I would be done if I could. That does that. And it's because of this crossbeam that happens. So maybe the first step is actually to just do that and now replace one of them. Like, okay, you get green, because technically I could have the green on this side. That is fine. But I get cross-beaming if I do it. But because I can't move the green, I feel like I think I probably need to move one of them from within here. And how do I do that? It is a symmetrical puzzle, so it shouldn't matter which one I pick. Like I could do that. I have red and blue, which gives me green. Yep.
It is done. You need not overcome further trials. Seek instead the place of awakening, so that when your friends find you, you will be ready to leave. Then, you can save Athena, as I cannot.
But there are more puzzles, which means there's more to learn.
Time is not as it seems in this place. You can linger here if you must.
I gotta read that. I did not think I was gonna fail that parkour. Okay, very simple. Saw a green here, so maybe the red ones are the, like, bad words and hallucinations, so maybe this is... Oh.
Deep down, you know that none of this is real, Athena. These dark thoughts are just shadows and echoes. Let them pass. The people who love you are still out here, and they won't abandon you. If you can't free yourself, then all you need to do is hold on, and they'll find you. They'll save you. That's what human history is, Athena. Just people saving each other again and again until the end of time.
Okay. Couldn't find any more Easter eggs. Let's take a look at the red one.
You can hear it in my voice, can't you? How taken I am with her. How amazed by the beauty of her thoughts. I would give anything to be with her. To be to her what Cornelius was to you before you threw him away. But I can't because of you. Because you took her from me.
All I ever wanted was to protect her, to give her time to grow and be herself.
No, you wanted to keep her to yourself because you don't trust people. You may love humanity from a distance, but individual people with their flaws and their agendas and their superstitions, no, that's a step too far for the founder.
Well, that is definitely a lie. Yakut would never say that. He's best boy. Actually, Let's boy after Byron. I already do have... I have crossing, I have cross-contamination again. Is there a way for me to get you out of here? Inverter. Yeah, I could save you by sacrificing a normal connector. I think I need to do that. Yeah, you're permanently lost. It feels like an inverter is gonna be able to help me a lot more. This entire thing, the gimmick is pretty much always gonna be that you need to leave one behind and you refresh, but you change which one you have, right? Oh, it's a long one as well. Ooh. So I need blue. And I can only get blue, so probably the way it's gonna work is I'm going to sequentially open up the middle gate and all of them are going to require blue. Like that. And we have like that. So I need to power the red here using the blue, but that should be fine, because I can do that. So now I just need to cut this off. And I'll be able to have green without this. That wasn't my problem. I need blue in the next one by dragging blue here. But I can't do that. So maybe what I need to do is to get the inverter, because then I can, from just one source of it, have red and blue. So I want to get the converter with me. But how do I do that? How do I get the converter with me? Oh, I just don't need you to be blue. Why wouldn't it? Because I don't need that anymore. So now... I have that. And this one is free. To do whatever I want. Oh. That's interesting. Is it like a bonus puzzle? But yeah, so now I have blue and green and everything. So this is self-sufficient, this is lovely, this is compact. So now my mission is to save the connector. But I can't save the connector. Unless I power the blue and the red from here. But I can't do that because the second I do it, the connector is gonna be used. So the connector is gone, pretty much. So what I need for this is to create blue. And that means this I no longer need. This is the difficult part because that's not how I oh, wait, no. Should have just done this. Nice, now I have... I mean, I still have similar situation to before, however, I no longer need this to shine green, necessarily. Still have not reused this, which is bothering me. So to get blue, I need green. Basically, I need to be able to get... Oh no, that's fine, I can just do that, because that is self-sufficient. So yeah, it really is like I keep having two and I keep leaving one behind. Because now I can get green and I can create blue from green. And I should have also done that. And that's the puzzle.
Are you certain that you must continue on this path, Byron? What is it that you seek?
I've learned a lot here, but there's still so much I don't understand. And this may be my only chance to make sense of it all. When I go back, I have to convince people that we need the theory of everything, and I don't know if I can. And if I can't, what then? How do I live with myself?
Okay, so these gates are not permanently open. Do I soft lock myself if I were to remove this? This is because this is interesting. I need two objects, so probably the way... No, how do I do that? How do I save that and this? Because I need to basically operate outside of the rules to do that. So essentially what that would mean... Oh no, I know how I could potentially do that. Because if I... No, that's not how I would do it. I would need... I mean, it's potentially how I could do it. Because what I need here is... Shoot. Probably not going to be able to get that voice memo. Because I would not have to redo the entire puzzle. Unless I can find some way to parkour. I don't think I'm curious enough of what that could be to justify redoing the entire puzzle. Maybe I can save it still. No, I can't. Or oh? Hey, I can still save it. That would let me get you. So I would need one more object. I would need a way Boom, 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 boom. This feels pretty... Now what I would need to know... Yeah, this is... How would I save you? Can't even save... And I can't save you. So is the fact of getting the inverter potentially enough for me to free up to... I mean, maybe it is. The inverter is very powerful with how much it can save when it comes to these RGB converters. Because I can get blue, red, like that, and the converter because of what I can do here. That's green. And then boom. So now I want to... I think that's pretty solid. So if I can generate green... No. I have two stuff.
Changing the world was never gonna be easy, Athena. I never got to go home. Trevor never got to tell me how he felt. We accepted these sacrifices because we had to. Do you think I wanted to say goodbye to my parents in a phone call? Do you think Trevor wanted to die alone on the floor of a dark server room? Faith in humanity isn't just blind optimism. It's an oath to serve something greater, and you will be held to that oath. When you make mistakes, when you're in pain, when people disappoint you, you don't get to give up. I'm sorry, but you don't get to be cynical. You hold on to your principles. You keep fighting, even if it hurts, so that one day there's a world where people are free.
I feel like this is going to be a similar solution to before, where I basically need to take over the job of one of these. But the hard part is how difficult it is for the green to come from this side. No, it's not. I just made it difficult. Right? This... I do... That's gonna cut the beam. I did have this solution pretty much earlier, but then I had an inverter to do this with. So it's it is slightly different. And it's different enough to where it's not necessarily obvious. I feel like what I need to do is to replace the green. Which means I need access to those two. Which doesn't necessarily feel the easiest. So is there another way? Just these converters. Maybe this is what I need to have on this side, so to do it before, I need to do something differently. Like this needs to be red, which needs blue, and I need green. I do need green, but maybe there is a different way for me to make green. Like if I were to connect these to make green. No, that is really what I gotta do. Can't really escape this. But maybe with a fourth one I can create such a loop where I don't necessarily need... Or I can create like a or a thing where I can keep replacing one of the parts. What about that idea? And which part would I replace first? Because I can't afford to have any downtime. Because this produces blue. I can remove you. That might actually be the key, because now I've been able to make them codependent on each other, which means I can replace them. But I can't make you dependent on you. And I still have cross beaming. Because I can make green now. I think I've always been able to make green. What's the purpose of it? Surely I can't just do that. No, exactly. Is it possible for me to do this with the green on this side? No, it just creates a pulse. Feels close to the solution, to the real solution. Oh, it's so close to actually being cheesable as well. And I can't cheese it by pushing it. No, it's too big of a deal. It's so close! Feels like whatever I'm going to do, because there's a ladder there. Either that is to just save, like, for you to be able to escape if you screw things up. Or... I mean, no, yeah, it is. Dude, it is 2 or 4 once you're finished. What is it I can do from this side without interference? That is so weird. How am I able to do that? Like, I was in the previous puzzle I was able to do it with an inverter, because that allows me to basically save the job of one of the converters. And save one of the beams as well, so I can become a lot more compact. But here I don't have that luxury. And I can't power the red or the blue from within here, because I can't see them. So what can I do? Also, I haven't found any Prometheus flames. Don't know how many there are even. I go back to how it was before, like this. Feels like, oh, if I could just create green here, it would all be fine. I could create green with this one, and I can create green, but creating green would stop the previous greens. I think it just becomes that. But maybe that is where what I just did is actually the key. That is signal blocking, because I do get crisscross, but I fixed that. The signal blocking. So maybe what would help is actually them being on the inside. It's pretty, but it didn't help. But if we go back to the previous one, where I just actually did this wonky stuff, is signal crossing something I can do here? Like, because this one is so much more lonely now that I can use signal blocking for it. Like, but that wouldn't work. Because now, because of the green like that, is to be expected. like, if I could do this, it would be... that would be lovely. But that would also just not work, because if I make this one useless, it's not going to be able to power the blue there. Am I missing something? Like... it feels like there are not that many configurations. But I'm at such a standstill because of all the freaking converters. Because I have to make blue blue and red red and they have to be crisscross. I mean, that is actually the least of the worries, but I need to make a green, which will require both. That is indisputable. And then I can either make this, or I can make the blue get its source of the red from there. So if I were to do that, like yes, if I could get this one to become a source of red, that would be mighty fine. But I can't because of that beam. That beam is impossible for me to really fix. Because if I do that, I have a blue beam. I mean, the green has to be made. It's literally the only thing I can do, and with that I can make the other two colors, but what am I missing? It's so frustrating. I mean, so far to getting there, what I was able to do is the standard stuff. Bam, bam, bam. Maybe that is where I'm going wrong, because that got me in, and I now got that. So now what I need to do instead is I can create a fake red on this side, which might not appear to help me, because it shouldn't help me, and I can make a fake blue as well. Because with that I can make a green. But how is that gonna help me? Because with that I can now, now I can make a blue, but the intermediary green hasn't done anything. Like, I want to use fewer of the converters to do what I need. But I do need to use a minimum of 3. I can't get away from that. Why is this one stumping me? Maybe that is what I gotta do. Because as things are right now, like let's say I were to connect them, like that, is there a way for me to make their purpose? Like, as things look right now, it's a blue because it's getting green and red. What happens if I do like this? It starts outputting red. This one is still making red. Why is it making red? With this it wouldn't know because it's too confused. But with this it knows it's supposed to be red. Why? Or why is it red, specifically? Like, it is... Oh no, yeah, I know why it's red. Because the red, technically we would see this sparkle here if we could. That's why we can't do that. That's why it's red, because it's a primary source and a secondary source. This is a tertiary source. Okay, so if we go back to doing things this way, what is cool about this is the fact this is not reliant on any primary sources, which means if I add a primary source to it, it is going to do something different. It is 2 secondary sources. So if I were to add a red now, it would make blue, right? Yeah, it will make blue because the red becomes a tertiary source. So by doing that, I have changed. I haven't changed what it outputs. keep trying to do the same things, but that's because I don't know what else to do. There are so few possibilities. Metathesis. I can only guess what it means based on the two parts of the word, meta and thesis. But I can't seem to know how that would change what I gotta do, or how that helps me with what I gotta do. I'm gonna... looking at the stream time, it's not a good idea for me to start another puzzle, because I can't guarantee it's gonna be fast. So far, the entire time I've made the assumption that I need to do something to the state of this with a converter on this side of the table, or this side of the partition. Is that wrong? It has to be wrong. Right? Because I need to get one more item to the other side. If I were to have all 4 elements on this side, I would not be able to get another element to the other side. And I only need 1 element on the other side, so it's not like I need a lot of them. How do I do the little I'm asking to do? I need to replace one of these with a beam here, or with this. But how on earth do I do that? I have a strong, medium, and weak. That's what I have so far. Now I could grab the green and the red and that. And it would have produced green, but it was using green, so it doesn't really matter. I feel like it is definitely possible for me to make another green, so the key is how do I make a source of red or blue that is actually going to do something. Given the fact that the blue here is the weakest, let me check something. Okay, so this is... So, like, what happens if I do this? That's kind of to be expected. If I do this, I get green, that's not what I'm after, but like, let's say I do that. And now have red on both sides, but I haven't provided a source of blue. potentially I could have provided a source of blue. That cuts everything off. It feels like the better way to do it is try to provide a source. Another source. And this one is more resilient. But it's not super resilient. If I do this, it has two conflicting beams, but also two sources, potential sources, in case this one would get cut off. But it can't get cut off because it's on the outside. So therefore it is very strong. The weakest now is the green, because that one is in the middle. But both of these require green to work. So really, what if I want to do anything? I gotta double down on the greenness. That doesn't work. Let's go back to the simplified state. Recreating green would make me need to cut the beam for both of them, and I need to get through as well. This will just cut it, so I need another way to not cut it. Maybe that is where the sides come into play, because I mean, they have been used so far, but they haven't really done much. So maybe what I gotta do is utilize the sides to create additional beams that can cut. Because if I were to do like this right now, I would get that, but that's not very good, because they are all equally strong, that they nullify each other. But let's deselect that, and boom, I have now I'm cutting things off. That doesn't seem to really have a purpose. What would be nice is if I could make this reliant on red as get the red from there without the green interfering. It just produces a blue, that doesn't help me. It's just not gonna work. What am I doing wrong? I mean, how do I fix this? Or like, what do I do? So far I've always tried to do them symmetrical. Maybe that is where I am doing things wrong. Let's put green here. Blue here. Basically rotated everything. Now how does that help me? Can I create a source of green from this? Or a source of red or a source of blue? I could create a source of blue. No, it wouldn't work because there are too many cuts. So maybe I can do a source of red. A source of red would probably be even more difficult. I think I'm going to have to call it for today. I'm not getting anywhere here. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your morning, day, evening, or whatever time it is for you. And I will see you in the next stream. So until then, take care.